What's kicking, guys, is a Saluki looking a bit disheveled over here in the mental hospital. This is a t-shirt that you get. It has the name of the hospital on it. And yeah, just waiting for time to pass.
Tú aquí siempre a mi lado, cicatrices que has curado, cicatrices, cicatrices. En la vida me he enchulado y como tú no hay nadie más. Tuvo un porro.
What's cooking, guys? It's a Saluki.
How are you, Vito?
I'm doing well. I was released from a mental hospital a couple weeks ago. Now I'm going back to Vietnam to work a sales job that I used to work. I don't know, I'm getting by, you know. I was hospitalized in Mazra, which is a hospital in Akko, the city of Akko, Acre. That's how it's spelled on Google Maps. And yeah, now I was rehabilitated. I ended up in the hospital because I was doing all sorts of drugs at the same week. And don't worry, I'm not wasting the Patreon money on drugs. Drugs are free pretty much in Israel. All you have to do is walk into a bathroom in a techno club and the people will offer you by themselves. So that's some quick advice, but don't do it. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad, okay? And basically, I have a sensitive mind, and when I do drugs, then I lose control, especially when it's a cocktail of a bunch of different drugs. The same week, now I'm gonna get demonetized for saying this, but I did in the same week coke, crystal meth, shrooms, psilocybin, marijuana, and ended up hospitalized. And this isn't the first time that I lost my mind due to drugs. Once when I was in Argentina, then I was making videos about the World Cup. I was there when they won, when we won. I feel half Argentinian by now from having spent there half a year.
With t-shirt that says Campeones del Mundo, Champions of the World. And there's a dude dancing up in that roof. Looks like he's fighting demons.
I was making videos every time that Argentina had a match. So I was editing the videos while I was over there at the match filming, edited the videos and went back to work to film the next match. And I ended up not sleeping for 3 days. And not sleeping for that long and using, back then it was only marijuana, made me lose my mind, made me get out of balance, and I started speaking nonsense and doing some very embarrassing things. I'm not particularly against drugs or anything. I think that they can be mind expanding, that they can be great for feeling a different state of consciousness, but it's just not for me. It's once again, I have a special mind that can't be meddled with, fiddled with, and now I don't do drugs at all. I only smoke cigarettes and drink coffee.
After South America, you didn't realize that?
I did realize that, but then there was temptation, you know. It's weed is a gateway drug, at least for me, and weed is available everywhere here in Israel. Like I made that video about Haifa, where I was explaining that you can just smoke weed openly in the street and no one will do anything. You can do it even in front of the cops. And yeah, I was tempted, and I wanted to again feel that feeling of being in a different state of consciousness with marijuana, and I did it again.
And
Oops, I did it again.
And now, what has changed now?
Well, after spending, it was a month and 3 weeks, I believe, in a mental hospital, then I really learned my lesson because I don't want to end up back there again. It was hellish. I mean, obviously I managed to get by like I do anywhere in the world, but it was a colossal waste of time.
And you're completely off drugs now?
Yeah, now I'm completely clean.
And committed not to ever use again?
yeah, I don't want to use again even when I get old, because honestly I don't need it. I feel like having traveled the world in the 7 seas and having traveled within my mind, I've seen everything but old age. I've seen everything that I want to see, and now I'm ready to be focused. You see, when I was in Italy, I wasn't doing drugs in the beginning. I was weaning myself off benzodiazepines, but that also resulted in lack of sleep for periods like 3 days, and then again I lost my mind a bit, because not many people know this, but the 2 drugs that can kill you if you stop them by yourself are not necessarily heroin or anything of that nature. It's benzodiazepines, which are prescribed to many people as of today very easily, like they were handing out candy to kids, and alcohol, which is also openly available. Those are the 2 drugs that will kill you if you stop by yourself. And yeah, in Italy, I was weaning myself off benzodiazepines, and then I made a bunch of live streams where I was talking nonsense. For example, I keep, every time I lose my mind, maybe it's because I've marinated in poverty for so long, but I think that I'm a millionaire and I start spending money I don't have. Now I'm in debt, 140,000 shekels. How much is that in dollars? Like
About $35,000.
maybe 40,000. Yeah. I don't regret anything at all, because I don't know, I believe that life has a path that you need to go down, and things happen, and there's no reason to regret things in the past. Like Lao Tzu, the person that invented Taoism, said, those who worry about the past get depressed, and those who worry about the future are anxious. You should worry about the now. You should be concerned about the now, or you should live the now. Anyway, yeah, I just said a bunch of nonsense, and I made a bunch of live streams, and I might have discredited myself from the journalism that I've been doing all these past 4 years on my channel. But I believe that my viewers realized that something wasn't right, and they accepted it so far from what I see, because I posted a serious video since then, and everybody just ignored what I've been posting all the time up until then.
In this week's episode, I have the Saluki, aka Ido. No, I've been watching Ido's channel for probably the last year, if anything, and I was mind blown by the crazy shit he does, because he goes to, I don't know if I think you've been to Kalandia, and I know Tal has, but you've been to Jenin, you've been to Ramallah, you've been to Shechem, I think, which is Nablus. I know you've been to several places, and I'm like, this dude's out of his mind. So, which I loved. I was really impressed, and I thought the videos were very interesting. I've never really seen anyone do that. Any Israelis willingly go in there. And the content's really, really good, and I really like what you posted. But then recently I saw some content, and I was like, where is this coming from? It's kind of confusing. So just to be real with you, I'm not here to focus that much on this, because basically a lot of people have been questioning if your mental health is okay, if you're doing okay. And you've been contesting that and saying you're perfectly fine. You are who you are. You're posting what you want to post. And your goal is to get to 1 million followers and pretty much post a video a day. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about your views and how you kind of like walked away from Zionism, of what it sounds like anyway. But we'll go into that a little bit. We'll go into that a little bit later. I'm a respectful person, but I'm also very blunt, and I know you are too. In terms of all of this going on, dude, how did the content go from Israel Palestine covering all these conversations to going and taking some video with some chick and her dad or something, or you said it wasn't her dad, and then there's also now you're saying they're jokes, but like the pregnancy thing where you're trying to like get people pregnant, like how does that, I guess it just throws people off in terms of normalcy, in terms of you being a stable dude.
What's coming up for us in the future?
We've got the Peaceful Settlers series that's being edited by the man that's holding the camera, and that's taking a long time. But it's gonna be good. And yeah, I don't know if people realize this, but I don't really make money off of YouTube. Every time I post a video from Palestine, it gets demonetized, and I've got to focus on my own life a bit. So when I have time, I'll be making videos and posting them and sharing them, and when I don't, I won't. So because I have to work a full-time job just like everybody else that's watching.
People were worried about you, and so much so that they've uploaded their own videos talking about it.
Yeah.
Like Tyler and...
Yeah, well, Tyler kind of poisoned the well, because he was just saying everything that I say about Israel and Palestine is wrong because I'm mentally ill. Now, that's not right, because even when I was in a manic state, then I still had my same opinions about these topics, and I don't express my opinions much. And he was just reiterating the same thing for half an hour in his video that he made about me.
Ido, the Saluki, is not well. He is not okay, and he's unable to think at the moment rationally. I don't think you're being truthful with your audience, and I think you are doing a disservice to the content creators who work day in and day out to dispel some of the disgusting stuff we've been saying as of recent.
But he is a fan, after all, of what I do. And a lot of people like him were concerned about my safety and my well-being. But I don't know. I don't see anybody concerned about my safety when I guess some comments say stay safe when I walk into Palestine, and I don't know, like I don't see these comments. I do appreciate them and everything, but I don't see them as very real, because it's just letters on a screen, you know. It's not people that I know personally, and it's a virtual reality.
But you walking into Palestine wasn't as a result of your mental state.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that Tal needs to understand.
It was pure journalism.
Yeah, yeah.
Seeking for the truth and looking from the other side too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was very much appreciated by your followers.
Yeah, from both sides, from the Palestinians and the Israelis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can't ignore the fact that when I saunter into Palestine, then there are... I haven't been to Nablus and Jenin, for example, for a long time now, because there are extreme people over there that do want me dead, and they did post a picture of me in army uniform and said, look what you did, you let this guy into your homes. And yeah, it's dangerous, and I get nothing. I mean, I get nothing monetarily from it, so it's hard to make sense of me doing that all the time when it's not even my job, and I'm not working for any for Al Jazeera or some big journal or Vice or whatever, some big journalistic company. But I don't know. I do these videos to open people's eyes, and also for myself, because I enjoy filmmaking as an artist. You know, I enjoy drawing, I enjoy writing. Rapping, I like all these things.
By the way, you mentioned Al Jazeera. What do you think about the decision to close their offices in Israel?
I think it's a political statement, and they shouldn't involve politics with journalism. But I was in their office in Ramallah, and they probably mean that they're gonna leave their office in Ramallah open, so it doesn't really make a difference. This is my second psychosis, by the way. When I was in, I believe it was November, December, then I was unfairly hospitalized when I had an ambulance come to my house and take me by force just because I was making videos in Palestine. So everybody that was saying free the Saluki, then it's not like you were saying that in vain, because I was rightfully hospitalized. I wasn't. I've had 2 psychoses, and also I had some psychotic behavior in Italy. But back then, when I was hospitalized for my journalism, then it wasn't fair. Just FYI.
Basically, I've been hospitalized. Like, they claimed that I was having a manic episode, but I'm not, clearly. And I think that it's because of the content that I was posting, which isn't towing the propaganda line. But many people disagree with me, but the proof is in the pudding.
So I finally made it out.
after 18 days in the mental hospital, and I figured I would do it live. So here we are, we're in Tel Aviv. The mental hospital was in Ramat Gan, so we just came to a cafe here. And let's go, let's start replying to questions.
Does the current situation in Israel and the problems we're having here affect your health?
I don't particularly think so, because I like to think of it like this. There's wars going on everywhere all the time, and if I would look at what's going on in Cameroon every day, I would be sad too. And I'm a citizen of the world. But it definitely, I don't know, affected my mood. For example, I was very sad when I lost a friend that was one of the Hamas hostages. But I don't think that it was something that took me over the edge, no. I don't like to think about what's happening here, because there's wars happening everywhere and we just talk about them less. You know, there's wars that are in fashion, like Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia. And there's wars that aren't in fashion, like, I don't know, the war between the French and the English speakers in Cameroon, for example. Nobody ever talks about that. So you can't keep yourself occupied with these things, because it'll drive you crazy if you cry for every person that dies.
Now that you are outside the hospital, are you still getting treatments?
Yeah, there's an antipsychotic medication. It's called olanzapine, or under the brand name Zyprexa. And I take 2 before I go to sleep, 2 10-milligram pills. And that, I guess it calms my thoughts down a bit. But I have to take it for about a year after the hospitalization to rebalance the chemicals in my brain.
How was the time at the hospital?
Well, time moves very slowly over there. It was horrible. I mean, it was horrible until I got myself some earphones, and then I was just listening to music and walking in circles all day. I also read some books, but it was a good slap on the cheek to make me not want to go back to that situation in my life again. I don't ever want to waste time in a mental hospital again. It was especially hard for someone like me who likes to move around so much.
Is it it's a totally closed environment?
Yes, it's like jail pretty much, except a bit more sympathetic. And well, there is fighting between patients like in jail too.
Did you have a room on your own?
No, it was like being in my hostel days again, when I used to travel the world in hostels. I would share my room with another 6 or 8 patients.
But at the beginning you had a room of your own?
Yeah, because I walked in there like a boss. And when I walked in, then I was like, okay, now it's time to break out. And I went to there was a PC, a monitor, and there was a glass covering it, and I went and I punched the glass, and I took a shard of glass, and I was like, okay, we're breaking out of here, who's with me? Well, I was still in psychosis.
So you were violent?
In a way, yeah.
And did they restrain you?
Yeah, they all held me down, and they injected some benzodiazepines into my butt.
Nasty?
Yeah, and then they closed the door on me, and it was a door that gets locked. I was in solitude.
Did they tie you up?
Yeah.
Legs and hands?
Yeah, legs and hands, like in the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Not nice.
Yeah.
That's why you never want to go back there again.
I don't ever want to go back there again.
And
I'm not going to.
And how did you keep yourself busy while you were there?
Listening to music, listening to whole albums. You know, I love rap music. That's what keeps me going. Music really keeps me going. In the beginning, I could read, and then I found it hard to concentrate because, I don't know, I guess I felt so stuck there that it was hard to even read. I didn't talk much to the other patients, but there was another guy who was in the beginning who was also in a manic episode, and we kind of became like best friends, and then he left, and then he didn't answer my calls later.
And did you manage to do some physical exercises?
Yeah, I always stay in shape, you know, especially I believe that physical exercise is essential to have a happy lifestyle, you know, it keeps you healthy, it's good for the mind and for the body and soul. What's cooking, guys? After I took a break from the live streams, I'm back. I figured I would do a live stream while I'm doing my workout. Hello to everyone. Write me where you're watching from. Assalamu alaikum. I'm definitely gonna go back to Ramallah pretty soon, probably next week. If you wanna grab a coffee, then drop me a message on Instagram. Where are you now? I'm in Akko, Israel. Yeah, I got my hair is yellow, but I wanna cut it. I'm doing my daily 50 pull-ups, so I'll do it while answering questions.
Before you got hospitalized, you did pretty weird stuff. I mean, one of the things that you did an interview with a dentist.
Oh yeah, and I claimed that I used to take that I was an illegal dentist when I was in Brazil. That wasn't real, but that was some good acting, you have to admit. I said it with a straight face.
Absolutely, you persuaded me.
Yeah. Oh, you believe?
That's when I got worried.
Yeah. He's helping me become a better dentist. You guys don't know this, but I used to be an illegal dentist when I was in Brazil and in Palestine. I have an underground clinic in Palestine, but that's illegal, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. And yeah, I just like it. There's a lot of money to be made being an illegal dentist. So as you know, I'm a multimillionaire. Yeah, I said a lot of weird things, but that's what happens when somebody's in a psychotic episode, you know. And I think I don't mind having said that, but I think that it would take away from a bit of the integrity from the videos. But I guess people understand now that I was going through something.
In hindsight, can you tell between the things that you imagined and the things that were real?
Yeah, I think so. I can differentiate. I know what was a product of my own imagination. And yeah. My main thing is, I said this before, but I think it's because I marinated in poverty for so long, but the main thing that I always think when I'm in a manic episode is that I'm really rich, which isn't true.
That's the time to ask for donations.
If you want to support me, then go to patreon.com/Saluki.
Thank you, Ido.
Thank you.